Hey everybody. So I'm going to run through a Kafka Quota demo. It's the exact same steps that are listed in the post that should have accompanied this video. So I won't go through and explain every little detail because I assume you also can read the instructions, and I'm just going to repeat the instructions that I wrote. So I've got two tabs open here. I've got one with a dark background. I've got another one with a light background. Let's start off by firing up the Dr. Compose file for this example. That should happen pretty quickly. And then in the next window, I'm going to be running the commands. I'll go over here in the light background. Let's set some environment variables. I'm going to set Kafka home and the Bootstrap server string that I'll use. So I'll echo that. I can confirm that for me on my laptop, this is going to be pointing to a place where I can have access to the bin directory here. And namely, this script right here is what we'll be using. Why don't I show you that before we run it? So in this directory, the Kafka examples quotas directory, if I ls there, you'll see these files. What we're gonna run here in this demo is effects. This is just a wrapper around Kafka producer perf test. I'll probably write something up about using this tool in more depth at a later time. But for now, you can just see that it's going to loop through. It's going to be called according to my settings of Kafka home. And the Bootstrap server is the boot that I set before. And then the argument that I'll pass to it is the properties file to connect to the Kafka cluster that requires authentication. Okay, so that's the quick tour. There's a quick tour there. Next up is to actually run this script. Before I do, I already done this, but most likely you'll have to chmod it to make it executable. And now I will cut and paste what we should be running, not that. Rather, try this again. We'll cut and paste this. So effects and passing in Alice client properties, that's also in this directory here. Just gives us a fake principal. So when we run this, it's going to start looping through. Not finding the leader not available is not a big deal, as I see here on the screen. Should just take a couple retries and we're off and running. There's a few things that are output in each loop, part of the for loop that goes through in that producer perf test script. Latency and max latency, average and max, I should say. But what I want you to just focus in on is the throughput. So we're consistently seeing over 20, fair statement, right? On throughput here. So this gives us the before the quota. So we could let this run as long as we want, as it goes through everything, but we really don't have to. So I'm going to exit out of this. I'm going to try to exit out of this. I'm going to kill that entirely. And then let's just clear this again so we have a clear screen. Next up, I'm going to run the sample Kafka configs with a quota, setting a quota. Again, this is all in the accompanying instructions. I'm going to set both a consumer byte rate and producer. In this demo, we're just going to be focused on producer, but we could also see this in the exact same way. There's a consumer perf test script as well. But again, for quotas, that will give us about a 5 megabyte per second byte rate. Okay, so now we can run that script again, the effects script with Alice, and we should see Alice being throttled by the quota. Now there's going to be some some differences here based on some of the config that we're setting in this script. But if we let this run long enough, we'll start to see that the throughput here, depending on the batch, is going to equal just under or just over 5 megabytes a second. Now, some of the settings, like the number of records per batch and stuff, are going to be affecting the total throughput. But the key takeaway here is that the client is still able to run, but it's running at a throttled rate. So there you go. It's as easy as that. We're showing the full demo of before and after implementing a Kafka Quotas on a produce rate. Hopefully this helps. Do let me know, as always, if you have any questions, concerns, or suggestions to make this better. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Bye.